It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for action in the IndyCar iRacing Series. Hello again, everybody. I am Gary Gatso, and welcome to Race First coverage of Round 9 of the 2022 IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Joining me for expert analysis in the booth for today's race, he drives for the Turn 4 racing team in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series. Please welcome my good friend Nick Sudik. Nick, it's July 4th weekend. We're going to see a lot of fireworks here on the track.
Gonna see sparks flying. We're gonna see maybe hopefully not too many tempers flaring, but Mid-Ohio is always an enjoyable course. It's actually, by technical definition, my home course too. A lot of undulations here.
Yeah.
A lot of patches, a little bit of different traction in some parts of the corner. If you get some of the apexes wrong, especially later in the lap, it's gonna throw your lap time off immensely, and it might even throw you into one of your opponents. So we'll see. We got a stout field here, a strength of field of over 3.5K. Some surprise drivers haven't made a bunch of appearances here, notably Ben Fuller here. We were just talking in the pre-race. I raced with him in the Logitech G Challenge series in the old IR01, the re-car. Makes that loud noise. Sounds like it's angry all the time.
Love it, yes.
Brandon Traino making an appearance here, first time in a while. We have Indy 500 winner, iRacing Indy 500 winner Christian Steele in the 10 car as well. Jesper Orman, Chris Wilhite, bunch. Kevin Burrell is here again. A lot of regulars, a lot of new faces, but a ton of talent.
I want to thank Kevin Burrell. He gave a nice donation to the program. I want to appreciate his time, money, and attention. Thank him again, as always, to help me bring these broadcasts to you all here on this. Well, here in the Midwest, it's a scorching hot Friday, but it's setting up to be a pretty nice July 4th weekend. Well, as the crow flies, Mid-Ohio is not that far from the World Center of Racing here in Indianapolis, about 2 hours away. So I know a lot of people here in Indianapolis. Before Indy had the road course put on, this would be their road course visit of the year. They would all go to Mid-Ohio. But now at the road course at Indy, you get double up on the road course action. But the Mid-Ohio road course has been one of the longest established road courses on the IndyCar schedule in the history of IndyCar. Actually, going back to 1980 was the first time it appeared on the schedule, where it was a co-sanctioned race back then between USAC and CART in the what was called the Championship Racing League. But right now, everything you need to know about Mid-Ohio in terms of track records, the CART track records, Gilles Villeneuve set back in 2001. Now, I've been starting to use Racing Reference as a source over Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is not always right, and Wikipedia gives you the race records. We want the fast qual records. That's what we're looking for. That's the one that we want everyone to take note of. But they only give it to you in miles per hour. They don't give it to you in seconds. Now, miles per hour is kind of useless on a road course because everyone's like, I could do that on the highway if I want to. But miles per hour is more impressive on an oval. But unfortunately, they only give miles per hour here on road course as well. So the track record in miles per hour set in CART is Gilles Villeneuve 2001 on the speed of 124.214. The IRL IndyCar track record set in 2016 by Simon Pagenaud with a speed of 127.271 miles per hour. To absolutely no one's surprise, the career wins leader here at Mid-Ohio is Scott Dixon with 6. The next closest driver, just to put this into comparison, is Emerson Fittipaldi. That's right, a former world driving champion. Only 3 here. So that's how bad not just Dix dominates here, but in general, Chip Ganassi Racing. So stand out in the garage here. It's almost time to go racing. We've got about 3 minutes and 20 seconds here left in provisional qualifying. You see Fuller there with a 106.735. So we can translate that to miles per hour for you, which works out to be a 119.329. So not anywhere close to the kart or IndyCar records for that matter. So these cars are a little bit more heavier and more wieldy to drive around than those really light carbon fiber cars of the kart era. And then, of course, with all the aero kit and everything on those DW12s back in 2016, they were putting up track records just about every track they went to back then.
Yeah, that's the old days of kart at that pinnacle, that going up to like 2000, 2001. With those cars on ovals, they're always counted as like some of the beasts of modern motorsport. But my God, if you saw these of those kart cars on the road course,
they're like little darts. I've watched like old Indy 500s, and those cars are just like little fighter jets, little darts compared to what we got here nowadays. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. These cars are, we've talked about this before, these cars are going to go well into the future. Hey, a quick programming note, this coming Monday's coverage of the 4D Raceware Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split. Due to the July 4th holiday, Raceforce will not be broadcasting this week's race at Chicagoland. We'll resume our regular coverage of the 4D Raceware Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split when the series moves to Iowa on July 12th. So do not be expecting a live stream this Monday. We're going to take the holiday off. Got about a minute 40 left here in provisional qualifying. Anything striking you?
These times are fast. I was expecting low 107s to be quality time, but wow, like Traino, Fuller, my God, they're on a whole different level in the 106 bracket. I don't I'm not surprised at this point. Again, like I said, Ben Fuller, not too familiar around the IndyCar parts as much, at least recently. But you know, he is a highly talented driver. He actually has the white PWC license from the old
professional.
Yes, from the old IR01. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Professional league, the PWC league that they ran a couple of years ago. I mean, he could drive anything though. Like, I've seen him drive just about every car. I've ran into him a few times in other lobbies, and he's going to be talented. He's going to be one to watch. But it's this Mid-Ohio baby. It is very easy to make a mistake. You put a little bit too much power down on a little undulation there. Going through the middle of the end of the lap, and you're going to be in the grass. There's not a lot of runoff here either.
No, there isn't, and we've seen many cars do cartwheels and flips, especially into the China Beach area.
Yep, and it looks like we are wrapping up qualifying, and Fuller will take that pole.
All right, and we will line up, and they are going to line up for the short lap. They're getting gridding up in the Thunder Valley area, and if you'd like to, we could start reading off that starting grid.
All right, and at the pole, like I said, Ben Fuller with a 106.73. It's a lightning quick lap, fastest lap I have seen in practice. Adam Crane alongside of him in second place, looking to start to pad that points lead a little bit more. Brendan Traino in third, always one to watch as well. Very quick around here in the 106 bracket as well with the 106.87. David Porcelli making his appearance again. Good to see David back. 107.17. Principal Dan Piazza. Excuse me, I had something in my mouth there. Dan Piazza, 107.24. Christian Steele, Indy 500 champion in iRacing, 107.39. 7th spot, Chris Ballman with a 107.4. And we got a lot of close times coming here on out as well.
Oh, yeah.
Lining up beside him, Rashad Craig, newer member of the IAR team. Good to see him making a good appearance again. Always very strong. Watch him coming up through the field. Alongside of him, Mr. Kevin Burrell as well. Did another strong showing. Very consistent with his lap times. And 10th, Anders Sandberg. 11th, Julian Kleinbasink. And 12th, Hayata Matsuda making an appearance again. Matthias Kraus in 13th. And Richard Crozier in 14th, if you want to take over.
Sure. Jesper Orman in the 15th car in the number 15 spot. The P16 Andre Bindel, P17 Josh Bryan, P18 and Chris Wilhite. Boy, he's got a deep deficit to overcome there. P19 Zane Zandi, P20 it's Dennis France, Robert Nash 21st, Michael Bott. Mitchell Bott, 22nd. Nick Coyle, 23rd. Charles Sears, 24th. We're not done yet. We got a big field. We got Robin, 25th. We got Eric in 26th and Radek in 27th. And that rounds out the field. And we're getting ready to go green.
Here we go. A little bit of a hesitant start from everybody, it looks like. Dan with a little bit of a bad start. Still going, looks like past him.
Coming to the key. Oh, look at a dive!
Ooh. Yeah, it's one of two big back-to-back opportunities right there. Your next big pass diving opportunity is going to be down here. I wonder, a lot of push-to-pass lights popping up, giving that extra bit of horsepower boost. Oh, 3 wide. Wow. Wow, Sandberg going 3 wide to make that move.
Sandberg with that TWR, livery there with Watson Racing. Meanwhile, up front, Ben Fuller trying to put as much space between himself and everyone behind him on those alternate tires.
I wouldn't be too surprised with Trano just standing pat. I'm sure they're talking together. They are teammates, I believe, with Apex Racing as well too. So I'm sure they're communicating. I'm sure there's some connection with.
Well, you got a bit of a team battle forming up at the front here, because you have the first 2 cars, which are team cars, the second 2 cars, which are team cars, and then you mentioned Christian Steele's an associate car of all the leaders right there. It's a lot of team play going on here, possible team orders even. Knowing these folks, there's no team orders. They're going for it 100%. Ooh, but car running off in the back there. Not sure who that was. Is that Matsuda? No, Matsuda's in the pits.
Could not see who that was. Might have to run that back in a little bit. It's gonna be very interesting. The one of the big narratives of the year here so far has been the tire dag, especially
here's
with
a battle
newer...
for 10th. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Okay. Between Burrell and Bauman, side by side down the which will be the start straight for real IndyCar when it comes here this weekend. Crozier with a pass a little bit further on back of Matthias Kraus. Oh, Matthias Kraus and Jesper Orman side by side through the China Beach area.
What you're seeing kind of play out goes hand in hand with what we were, what I was actually going to be talking before. That nice move by Kev there. He demonstrated the power of those softer alternate tires. For those of you not watching too often, not too familiar with the road course game here in IndyCar, we got 2 compounds. Red sidewall alternate tire. It's a softer tire. They kind of nerfed it a bit, couple patches ago. Does degrade pretty quickly, but if you can keep those temperatures within range, it is a hot day. It's 44 Celsius on the track right now, but if you keep that in range, make them last a good stint, you could extend your pit stop window to the point where you only have to save a tiny bit of fuel on your primary tires, and then just keep a consistent pace through the race. But these people on the track, they definitely might be able to make those reds last longer and work better as we've seen Adam Crane demonstrate in the past, especially well. That'll be interesting to see it play out here coming in the next, I'd say probably about another 10 laps. We get close to the fuel window.
Got the track map up for you, so people not familiar with Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. There it is. It's not a very big course, but it is a very challenging course. A lot of slow corners, S's. Got a lot of elevation changes. We got a couple of passing zones. Not an awful lot of them here, so you got to be good and when you pick your spots where to pass. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in line for quite a while. Let's get back up to the front. Yeah,
it's I pointed out the 2 long straightaways. Those are going to be your 2 primary passing opportunities here. The latter half of the track, like through Thunder Valley, etc., it's very, very much a technical track. It's a sports car course. I mean, IndyCar's raced here forever, but I mean, the way the turns flow, it's more used for like a GT3, a GT4 car, which, you know, they always present good racing for any vehicle that comes here. Heck, you could probably put go-karts on the short course here, and it would be amazing. You know, that being said, just because of the technical nature of it, in real life, they have the start line actually on that long back straightaway. Yeah. As you indicated before, but here we don't have that luxury. But at the same time, we don't have to worry about full course yellows. At least not this season. There's talk of them instituting some sort of automatic road course, full course caution if they get the system worked out better, which they have been working on behind the scenes here at iRacing.com. So always good to see development, though.
New release today with the new version of Atlanta. So I've already heard IndyCars handle not very well there. We'll have to find out. I'm not sure what the argument is. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard it wasn't a very good experience for those that tested it immediately. But right now we got IndyCars on the road course here at Mid-Ohio. If you're just joining us, this is race first coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series. We're lap 6 into a scheduled 68. We have Ben Fuller and Brandon Trano, the 1-2 punch of their racing team there, pulling away a little bit, actually a lot. It's Fuller, Trano, and Porcelli, and putting a big dent over Crane. Now, Crane, you were talking about the different tire compounds. There is Crane. Notice his tires. He is the first car on the prime tire. The prime tire is the black sidewall tire, and that is the harder of the 2 compounds, the one that supposedly lasts longer, the one that over a longer period is supposedly faster. We'll see, but right now he has Christian Steele taking a peek to the inside, coming up into the China Beach area. Steele's is going to be able to almost out-accelerate him there on the top of the hill with those red tires, but not doing this time as they go down into Thunder Valley here.
You get offline a little bit, especially on that heavy undulating section of Thunder Valley there. It's very easy to slide, and that's heat in the tires, and it's very, very hard on a hot track like this to dissipate that heat. So you know what this is kind of reminding me of? Fernando Alonso a couple races ago holding up in the Formula One Grand Prix. I can't remember which race it was.
Montreal.
Yeah, he held up half the field, like over half the field for so long. And that's just great defensive driving on a suboptimal setup or a suboptimal tire. But that's a skill. And Adam Crane has plenty of tools, and that's definitely one of them. He knows how to defend. Steele is burning another push to pass. He's already down to 3.
Down to 3 left. He's got the inside, and he tries to send it. There's a little bit of swirliness there. They both recover, give each other room up on the top here of the hill, down into the China Beach, getting ready to make the turn into the Thunder Valley area.
There was some minor contact. It looked like it was wheel to wheel, though. I don't see any visible damage to either car. I have to check Steele's side pod as well. But I don't see anything bent. I don't see any dents.
into the carousel. Every road course has a carousel. This one's no different.
That's just a racing incident there. That was a good move on both parts. So.
Yeah, good by both drivers to keep everything well under control, and that's kind of what you expect here with the top split. That caliber of driver. Well, let's see if Steele's going to do it again. He's down to 2. He's on it again.
I think Steele knows, and he cranes on it as well. Steele knows he's got to get past before these tires fall off.
Yeah, let's ride along with Christian Steele here in the i5G Dallara.
Just want to, speaking of Team i5G, give a big shout out to my my good friend Alexis Newsom for winning the Lionheart Indianapolis 500. So very
that was a great run, and that was a great strategy because, and the reason why I know it's a great strategy, other than her winning, is like the night before I'm spotting for Team Race First and for Caleb Bency, and the night or two before I said, Caleb, if we manage to go 34 laps on a stint, we could work out a whole pit stop, and we might be able to do this on one less stop, kind of do what Ray Hall was trying to do 2 years ago. And he's like, he goes, I think we should just go for it because we're deep in the field. And I agree with him. We were really deep in the field. We were like mid-pack. 18th was the qualifying. And we ended up doing it on one extra stop. Finished 6th, nevertheless. But she had a really, really good advantage of being up near the front. A great qualification effort. Allowing those 2 guys in front of her there to just kind of poke holes in the air, and she just kind of followed through and was able to get incredible fuel mileage in order to make one last stop there for their Indy 500. So bravo to her, and bravo to that whole organization for making that work.
They always show up. They're named after the race for the reason. So and then, like I said, Alexis and I have been racing pretty much together since I started in iRacing about two years ago, give or take. So it's been really awesome to have both of us kind of make a rise. Hers much more meteoric than mine, but yeah, it's just outstanding, and the Team i5G legacy is no exception, with Steele here winning the official iRacing 500. And still putting that pressure on Crane.
Yeah, that was a heck of a finish there too. He managed to finish. I believe they were the leaders were going 3 wide. They did a green, white, and then a checker. Yes. So they had green and white so they went green with lap 199, and they went 3 wide into turn 3. And Steele was the one who emerged, still rolling, and that got him the win there. But hey, sometimes you got to full send it in order to do that. You got to get the win.
That's right. Speaking of full send, you mentioned Will Height here, back in the field, already up 4 spots, the 14th, slowly clawing his way up. Zane Zadi behind him is also up 4 spots. So we got some moves coming up. We got some moves making those softer tires work.
Robert Nash looking on the inside of Zaldi there. Coming into the main straight area. Kind of a passing zone there, not quite. The way though that turn is really configured, you can pass there, but it's not the best place. Here is a passing zone right here into the keyhole. And then, of course, at the exit of the keyhole down to the entrance of China Beach, that is your key passing area right there.
We're starting to get to the point where those red tires are going to start to show a little bit of wear if you stress them out early on. I can't see the leaders having too much of a problem for another couple more laps. I mean, Fuller, Treno, they've been respecting each other in clean air, but as I say that, I'm looking up at the front. Looks like they're going to be encountering some traffic already pretty soon. It's a very short lap here. It's only a 107, 108, 109 lap here, so I'm already coming across some back markers.
Here is your closest battle within the top 10. Battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is Sanders, Klein, Busnik, Burrell. Right in front of them, that is Sanders. That Team Watson Racing multicolored, looks like a something like a Willy Wonka, I guess, would paint, or guess something like that. The TWRS always puts out those really bright Menard-like looking liveries.
Yeah, for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, actually associated with Team Watson Racing as well too, and Team Watson Racing setups. New paint, very bright, and I'm proud of it. So always good to have that.
It's like cotton candy, or you walk into the ice cream place, and that's like the what do they got? Bubble gum and mint and lemonade on there.
For sure. James Watson has put up a good group of people so far, and he's actually got his own setup shop and everything. Not gonna do a shameless plug here. It's not an ad. Just genuine, unbiased here. But if you ever see him, give him a hello, give him a shout out. If you ever see him in an open lobby, amazing with jump trucks.
Oh yes, he's in the pro trucks. Yeah, he's great. You'll see him in a lot of the top split and invitational races that are out there.
I'm just this battle up here with Sandberg. Burrell's got a lot to prove here. Kev has had so many good results just ripped away from him. I think he's on for like a top 4, top 5, and he got wing damage, or he went off track. It's been the story of his season so far, and I think this is a good place for him to get a good showing. I wouldn't be surprised to see an undercut. It almost looks like he's getting held up from Anders and Julian here. So don't be surprised if he gets off of those red tires a little bit early. Unbiased, again, commentators trying to stay unbiased, but God, I really want to see him do well. It's one of those things that's just an audience member. You're like, let him just get a result, and I think he's on for a good result here so far.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you need. Is you just need one, and that kind of breaks the floodgates down for you. But I've been there. I've been fighting through a very much a Lionheart Speedway season of much regret and forget.
The low streaks are not easy to come across. They're definitely not easy to deal with. But one driver who definitely knows how to go out of a bad streak is our person in 4th right now, Adam Crane. Sorry, good transition there, I know.
We'll take a look here at Adam, kind of by himself for the most part. We got Christian Steele about a second, 1.2 seconds back, and then Craig, the lead IAR car at the moment. Get the camera on him there. He is back there in 6th.
I'm sorry, we're gonna keep an eye on Crane's times here, since he's on the harder tire. He's on the prime tire.
Sure.
Everybody else around him are on alternates. They're on the red tires. They're getting close to that crossover point. So Fuller and Trano are doing 108s, 108 mids in front of him. Everybody else is right in the mid 109 bracket. Porcelli did a low 109 or 109 flat last lap, but that crossover point's coming.
Yeah, Crane's still a second off those guys up front. 109.6, 108.9 that time.
There we go.
So there we go, getting a little bit closer. Next car on the prime tire is Bauman back in 10th. Then Matthias Kraus back in 13th, and just about everybody in the from P17 on back have also chosen the prime tire in a strategic move, which is probably wise when you're that far back. But most everyone up front trying to run away with the reds at the moment. But that advantage is going to go away here real soon. What's the track temperature at?
We are sitting at 43C.
Okay.
If so pretty hot.
Yeah.
Pretty hot. It's should have my Fahrenheit up, but sorry, I'm a shield in the metric system now. So useful.
Just everyone go to Google. Everyone go to Google and type in 43C2F, and that will give you a real quick conversion. So we're about 6 laps or so away from the earliest of the windows to open for pit stops. Looking at a 2-stopper, are we not?
Yeah, but you can do anywhere between, I think it's like 20 to 23 laps if you want to kind of short stop, as we were talking earlier about getting off of those reds a little early. If you really want to fuel save, you can do 29 laps here, but you're gonna be giving up a couple seconds a lap, and with a lap of only like 107 to 110, it's really not worth it. It's almost worth it just to kind of nurse those tires a little more throughout, rather than just do like a long save and get back on red. So I think we're gonna see maybe a primary stop here in the mid for most of these front runners, and then as a car was in the wall there, I just saw Fuller go past.
Zandy looks like made its way into the wall. He immediately is punched out and is opted for the quick tow, and I think he is punched out for good. So he is done. Actually, we missed an incident must have involved with Principal Dan. He is out, classified in 27th. Nick Coyle is shown out, classified in 26th. Andre Brindle, currently showing in, is he on the road here? Let's see, I think he is. Yeah, there's Andre Brindle. Looks like he had an incident early on. He is recovered and is running in 25th, and he will pass here. I think it's Zadie. Zane Zadie.
Yeah.
Zadie here in about a lap or so for 24th. But yeah, a little bit of attrition happening early on. Andre, keep it going into the wall, and that is going to probably be a tow. I think he tried to drive it to the countryside.
Trying to check out it's a little place down the road there in Mansfield called Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
Oh.
It's right off of the highway, and they have an amazing chocolate shop, cheese obviously, and a bunch of other like farm goods, but their chocolate, their cheese, and other like little delicacies like that. Definitely recommend. That is a shameless plug as a local Northern Ohioer right there.
Currently watching Hayato Matsuda with the leader, one of the leaders right behind him here there. That was, I believe, Adam Crane making his way by. No, that would be Porcelli making his way by there. Yeah, they got the identical looking cars.
So we're looking about even on pace now with the reds and the black tires.
Yeah.
So it's, I would have thought tire dig would have been a little bit more. The surface here is a little older, even on the scan. Yeah, they have the patches that kind of help with that tire dig, but it's still a very, very undulating lap. It's a lot of heat in the tires consistently. The only really breaks you have are on the back straightaway. But if they can make that 108 or mid 108 pace going through to lap like 22, you're definitely going to see the prime tire be the less optimal tire, which again in this heat I would have thought otherwise, but they're making it work. These drivers, this high strength of field, do amazing things.
Last time by, Fuller 108.6, Trano 108.5, Crane 108.6.
That is Crane's fastest lap of the race so far there.
That is.
Definitely able to bang out those laps early. Now, what I'm thinking is Crane going to go soft? Is he going to go just through the end?
And leaders are in pit road.
There we go.
Fuller currently with the purple lap of 107.5 to no one's surprise there. Both of them hitting their spots at the same time.
Yeah, it's just good. It's good teamwork. No need to split strategy. As behind them.
Oh, Trano gets out first.
Wow. Yep, Fuller is not happy about that. You see that car? He got on that power quick, almost binned it. Coming out, almost missed the exit cone. I think Fuller might have just slid a little through his box, or might not have been a line there. Something looked a little off. I just caught it at the very end when he got into his pit. But those little minor adjustments in iRacing cost you 2, 3, 4 tenths of a second sometimes.
Well, let's take a look at the time on pit road for both these guys. Trano 26.2, Fuller a 27.1. So Fuller was on pit road a full second longer overall. In the box, Trano 8.7, Fuller 9.0. So 3 tenths longer in the box, Fuller. I don't know if that was just he hit his marks on, as you just mentioned. Maybe he possibly put in a little bit less fuel because this still has to be done in another stop. But anything's possible there. But and it wasn't even close. He beat him out solidly.
Yeah, no, like we said, no team owners here, folks. They're working together, but my God, they want this win. Like they absolutely want this win, and it's showing here. As Fuller goes, oof, just at the edge, kicking up a little bit of dirt there onto the back straightaway. Oh, and a lockup as well. Oh, lockup with a little bit of understeer for Fuller.
Fuller through the top of the hill into China Beach, very shallow. Now through the S's, getting ready to make that turn down into Thunder Valley right there.
Well, Fuller's car does not like this dirty air. I'm wondering if Ben might have a little bit less downforce. That's why he was able to pull away pretty easily from Trano early on and then just kind of coast. But I'm looking at the car behavior, and it's just went into understeer to stop oversteer at times. Yeah, right there, you see that little bit of understeer off of those
kicking up dirt
corners.
there, yep. Right in front of them. This is a battle for position, as a matter of fact. That is Rashid Craig, who is currently in third on a very, very worn set of alternate tires right now. 24 laps in his current stint. He is due in any time. And he's got to be looking at his rearview mirror going, God, that's for position behind me, and I still haven't stopped? Oh, they're going to take a look at the inside. So Craig is holding him up a little bit. Oh, a little squirrely coming off the top of the hill there.
Oh, Rashad's gonna...
Oh, wow.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think Rashad was really... Oh, Fuller to the inside going into Thunder Valley.
Oh. You're going for it. They're going for it. They're on it.
Yeah, the push to pass situation. Trano with 7, Fuller with 5. Crane is your leader right now as we are going through the pit cycle. Christian Steele P2. Brandon Trano now P3. Rashid Craig is down to P5. Bowman's P6. Porcelli down to 7th. Jesper Orman up into 8th. Kraus 9th. And Chris Wellite, we've been watching him. He's worked as well. He was just in the top 10. I think he's making his pit stop right now. There he is on pit road, along with Matthias Kraus.
Crane is pitting in this lap. Crane, through communication, is pitting in this lap. So if he can get a good stop, they've been battling up front. He could have made up a second and a half on those leaders. And if he goes, like I said, if he goes soft, those drivers in front have to use those hard tires in the end. They have to use both compounds, so he will have pace.
Here he is, making his turn on the pit road there. Kind of a tricky pit road entry. Not as bad as Barber, but it's kind of up there. Coming in right behind him, Christian Steele. It's almost like Christian Steele is like almost keeping an eye on him here for the I5G guys and the leaders.
Yeah, he's just lurking at the moment. The Steele might be able to come alive here later as well too. does only have 2 push-to-passes. He's the only driver in the top 5 that has... Oh,
Bauman doing an odd entry into his pit stall. That is going to cost him big time. Rashid Craig getting away. He's still trying to line up. He's still trying to line up. Now he's lined up. They're able to get the tools in. But that is going to cost him big time. A number of positions, I'm sure, on pit road. Here comes Jesper Orman. Past the cones, back up the speed. Here comes Bauman, surely frustrated on that stop. There's Christopher Wilhite. So a whole bunch of other cars on the farther end of pit road making their stop. So back to your leader here is now this battle for first between Treno and Fuller.
Bauman's one of those drivers, just like Burrell, very consistent on pace. Just has not been able to clock in the 3/4 full race distance that we've been doing so far. But God, he's going to claw back. He's going to be coming back up for easily a top 10 in his mind at the moment. So we'll have to keep an eye on his recovery as well. But that's unfortunate.
I think that's Charles Sears there that just with the Sears branded car, nevertheless, came out in front of the leaders there. It is bad timing, unfortunately, but he is back up to speed. But the first car a lap down in 18th. Dennis Fritz is now the last car on the lead lap in 17th. Still one more stop to go before we reach the end here. Let's bring up the ticker, show you where your favorites are. If you have a favorite, shout them out. We'll make sure we get them on camera for you. Treno, Fuller, Porcelli, Crane, Steele, Craig, Burrell, Sandberg, and Kleinbusnik, and Jesper Orman. Now, Kraus passing Orman. We'll take a look at that battle right there. That's pretty close. I'm sure Jesper's going to want that back going into the China Beach area. Matthias Kraus taking a defensive line down low. Jesper looking up high. Not going to be able to pull that pass off here in China Beach. Both these guys pretty much have just stopped. So these tires are up to temp. Both are on the prime tire. The black sidewall tire.
Oh, Bauman. I just switched to Bauman. He is really trying to put some pressure on onto Richard
Crozier
in front.
In
front of him.
Yeah, I think Bauman's driving with a little bit of anger, and I don't blame him. You spend so much time practicing for one of these things, including including pit ins, pit outs, everything, and then when you go to make your stop, then it's day over pretty much. I mean, you could recover, but it's going to be a hard drive to do that, and that's what he's trying to do right now.
Uh-oh.
He's on the button.
Hold on, we have some drama up front right now. Treno is getting held up. Oh, he is not happy.
That was Dennis Fritz. Fritz is actually sending it right down into the keyhole in that Valvoline car, the Allenser Jr. car. Allenser Jr. won twice here at Mid-Ohio in that car.
Well, we got a little bit of beef in the chat there. Treno obviously not happy.
You have every right to stay on the lead lap. That's the thing. If Fritz was already a lap down and they were coming back up on him, and he was holding up the leaders like that, I would be a little bit more sympathetic to the leaders. But the leaders, Fritz was trying to stay on the lead lap. I mean, you have every right to try to stay on the lead lap. So they should know that. I think it's just a little bit of excitement talking right now.
Yeah. Nothing extraordinarily like rude or anything like that.
No.
Trina's always really respectful, but I mean, just the frustration on the calms there. Been in that position. Actually, the IIS Indy race, the 375 race, getting caught up with traffic, trying to fight for their lap back. I understand. Nothing illegal, nothing against it.
Well,
just got a fine line.
Now they're up against Robert Nash. And coming through the kink there on the straightaway. Nash going to roll out of it, let them both by. Again, there's only so many places you can also get out of the way here. This is not a very wide racetrack. It's not, we mentioned before, it's not a very big racetrack. You're making a lap here every 66 to 70 seconds. So it is a very short, narrow, and fast racetrack.
It definitely provides some exciting racing, though, throughout, as we've seen so far. Ooh, Fuller hitting the curb a little bit there.
Well, Bauman Racing with Anger.com is up to P11 already. He's past Crozier, past Orman. Now he's on the attenuator of Kraus. Oh, they got contact! Kraus into the inside. He is done. Bauman into the China Beach area. It looks like he's trying to shake the car out a little bit, make sure what damage he has. He doesn't look like he has any damage.
I don't see any damage somehow. That's... those cars were inside of each other there. I don't know how Bauman doesn't have damage.
Well, let's rewind it here in the Wayback Machine here. We'll watch this again, and we'll go up into the... can we go up into the Race First One airship? Yeah, there's the Race First One airship, and let's see what TC saw from up above. Here coming into the keyhole.
Well, that's netcode. You'll see the cars get like kind of sucked into each other there.
Yep.
That's netcode, and that might be why Bauman doesn't have the damage, because it might have rolled back. The interpolation from iRacing on the client side, or on the server side, might have been like, oh, there was a lot of netcode disparity. There's some latency. There was some packet loss, something like that, and it just won't have any damage for one or both of the cars. But unfortunately, Kraus hit the wall. There's no coming back from that.
Well, and then both the drivers, Bauman from, he's saying he's with an overseas club. We know at Matthias Kraus, who is now showing in the pits and out of the car, also part of the same overseas club. But if they're coming from an overseas, this course race being run on an American server, netcode could very well be an issue here. Netcode is always a thing you always have to be concerned about in whatever form of racing that you're racing in iRacing, but especially in IndyCar, because these things move so fast.
Yep, and they're very punishing as well too. The slightest of damage can take tenths off of your lap, even a smaller lap like this. So unfortunate. As Crane is.
Well, Crane's with his teammate now.
Yeah.
He's lined up with his teammate. They're stuck in traffic a little bit. Oh, with the traffic getting squirrely coming out of the quick carousel onto the main straight there. Corner 13, I believe that is. Looking to take a dive to the inside into, that's Porcelli behind him there.
Gap's kind of stabilized right now around 17 seconds, so it might seem like it's a large gap, but I do want to point out too that Crane is going to be on the softer tires. Fuller, Trano up in front, about a quarter of a lap ahead. They have to be on those harder tires, and from what we've seen play out so far, they're about a second and a half slower than those prime or those alternate tires. So if they can keep that gap stabilized and work together, Crane might be able to pull Porcelli, and we might see a satellite 1-2 potentially at the end of this. If anything, we're going to get a good battle probably the last 5-6 laps, barring any...
We always seem to work out that way. It always seems that IIS seems to always have a very good late battle develop. So let's stay tuned, stick with us. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Nick, would it surprise you that half of everyone watching this stream right now have not subscribed to this channel?
I've done my part. I've subscribed. I think everybody else should as well.
According to YouTube analytics, 50.9% of you are not subscribers, so let's change that right now. Help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy Race First coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series, you respect the stream, please do us a solid and make sure you support us by subscribing. We have less than 200 subscribers to go before we get to the magical 1,000 mark, so help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We cannot get there without you, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future Race First iRacing broadcasts. Do it right now.
Sure, we get 1,000 subscribers when we hit that 1K mark. We've already grown a lot this season so far with IIS fixed, Indy fixed Monday nights, as well as a couple other like special events and leagues, the RIL league, etc. I'm sure we'll do something special if we get to 1K. We'll think about it, but yeah, get us there. We love your support and your viewership, and just love bringing this to you more than anything.
And make sure, if you haven't done so already, and you like the stream and you like the effort put forth, please throw us a little change our way. Please donate if you like. The link is in the description. We'd appreciate anything that you might be able to send our way. We do these for free out of the kindness of our heart. They're not easy to do. They take time. And always shows that everyone out there is appreciative of the work. But we do realize times are tough, so any contribution you make is duly appreciated.
As we were talking there, the Crane Porcelli group hit a little bit of traffic,
yeah,
and
did.
They lost about 2.5 seconds there, over the last like minute and a half there. It's just going to be really interesting to see how the strategy works. Like, you have a rabbit out there. You got to chase it. Can you chase it down? That's what this whole final stint's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam gets immediately, as soon as that fuel window opens, gets into the pits to put on a new set and just try to at least close that gap. Going forward, that being said, Adam's still in the 108 time bracket.
Yeah, leaders right now 108.4 or 108.4, actually, for both of them, as a matter of fact. Crane a 108.7, so losing a little bit of time, not an awful lot. Everybody at the front is on the alternate tire. First car not on the alternate tire is Porcelli. So it looks like the satellite teams split strategies a little bit.
Yeah, I think at this point, kind of, you want to talk about team tactics. Crane's kind of keeping Porcelli in tow, keep him in contact. That way they can both be on the same tire at the end. If you have a teammate who's close, it's not a bad idea to split strategy, especially with such uncertainty of how the tires were going to react over a full stint here, and how the temperature was going to potentially fall, potentially, stay hot, which it's still pretty hot. It's still 41 Celsius, so it's still not quite egg frying hot, but it's definitely up there for the tires, that's for sure. But that gives you that flexibility, just like you would see a team split strategy in real life IndyCar over a full distance race, or Formula One. You see that a lot too, as well, with literally only 2 cars per team.
And speaking of real life IndyCar, I try to explain this series to a lot of people, and they don't quite understand. This series, at best as it can, mirrors the real IndyCar Series in terms of the weekends they race on and the tracks available. Of course, not every track is available. Looking at iRacing for Toronto and St. Pete and Portland, and I'm sure I'm missing some others. But we will be back again in 2 weeks after this race, and while the real Indy cars will be in Toronto, we will be in Montreal at the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve in the Isle of Notre Dame there, where we will pick up the next round for the IndyCar iRacing Series. So hope to see you then. That is in 2 weeks, Friday, 2 p.m. We'll see you there. You don't want to miss it. That course, well, you just saw F1 cars there not too long ago, and IndyCar's, of course, not as fast as the F1 cars, but you'll still see some pretty good speeds there by these guys.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's always exciting to see. One of the beauties of sim racing is you can do those things that don't happen in real life. So, see IndyCar back at Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. See them at Daytona. See, like, it's one of the really awesome things about iRacing. You can just send a car wherever. But that should be a really exciting race, especially with this package that we have with the IR18.
I'd say with you know, it wouldn't be IndyCar if they weren't racing on an island somewhere. Of course, Belle Isle is going away. Maybe you should bring Montreal into the. And actually, looking up at our leader right now, just noticed that our leader is now approaching Chris Wilhite in that IAR car. So this is going to be interesting here. We'll watch this battle. I'm sure Chris, once he gets close, will probably let him go. But right now, Chris is going to claw and stay on that lead lap, taking a defensive line on the outside. I think he's going to let him on by right there through the straights, through the kink. He's going to let Trano on by. Fuller not close enough yet. And Chris Wilhite with a bit of a blink there. But it would be nice to see IndyCar race full-time in the Montreal market area. And race there at the on the Isle of Notre Dame. That's what it translates to. Notre Dame. And no, it has nothing to do with the Fighting Irish.
All I can say is, you know, we want to talk about, you know, IndyCar having an affinity for having a race on an island or two every year. You know, Burke Lakefront Airport is very close to water. Let's just bring that back again. I have to every stream. I'm sorry. I just want a Cleveland Grand Prix. That's all. That's all. I will chill for Burke Lakefront Airport to come back. It's one of the best. Kart tracks.
I think everybody will. Wow, look at Fuller doing his best impression of power slide through the corner there.
Yeah, Fuller getting ready for Fast
the Furious,
next Fast and Furious movie.
10 or whatever it is. Yeah. All the spin-offs and whatnot.
Oh, he's getting.
He's got now. He's got is that Crozier? No.
Mm-hmm.
That's Crozier. That's Crozier in front of Trano right now.
One of the worst places you can get traffic here on this course. There's nowhere to go, because like we said earlier, like you get offline.
Yeah.
The camber gets weird. The grip level just plummets.
Yep. And some of the curbs here, you can actually beat your car too. So, and then of course, if you beat your car, that is a tow.
Yeah, no full course cautions, no pushes.
Nope. Next car on the last car to lead lap. Next car that will be encountered here by the leaders, Jesper Orman in 11th. So the leaders are just slicing through this field.
I'm at this pace. They're on pace to lap up to 8th place. Like, Trano, Fuller have been flying. Like, absolutely been flying. Yeah, it looks like they got some clean air in front of them as well too, up at the front.
Okay, once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Race First coverage of Round 9 of Friday's top split of the IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, where Brandon Trano currently leads on lap 43 of 68. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, share with a friend, help us with that algorithm. Anytime you like an IndyCar broadcast, and of course if you like this stream, that will help other IndyCar viewers find us as well. So anytime you can help the algorithm, do it. The best way to help the program is to hit that like button. And it looks like Treno's pulled out to about a 2.6 second lead at the moment, and quickly coming up to Jesper Orman.
It's amazing how one little hiccup on pit lane can change the outcome of a race, even if
Fuller on pit road. Sorry to mean to cut you off, but I think he's attempting what you just said about what a strategy he was gonna do possibly.
Yeah. Try to do an undercut. I mean, that's especially now your hand's kind of forced. Get the undercut, get those tires hot, because those prime tires, with how short of a lap it is, it takes them about a lap and a half, honestly,
on those primes.
Yep, get good grip.
Down and away, and he looked like he hit his mark spot on. There was no sliding through, no nothing. Looks like he came out just in front of Charles Sears and moves him down to 4th spot on the grid at the moment. Treno is your leader. He'll be pitting any time now, my guess is. Once he saw that, I'm sure his next thought is, okay, I'm pitting. Plus, he's got I don't want to say a slower car in front of him, but a lap car, or about to be a lap car in front of him. So I don't think that he wants to be held up too much by. Oh, and actually, Jesper comes in, locks up the brakes coming into that turn to get in the pit, get on the pit lane, and now he is behind Jesper. Let's see if Jesper will actually beat him out of pit road and possibly hold him up, and then we might have a battle with between Treno and Fuller. We'll watch this right now. Currently floating high above on the drone cam, watching our leader.
Fuller's in 12 right now, coming past pit entry on to 13 in the front straight.
Here he comes. Here comes. This is Crane. No, that's Fuller. That's Porcelli. Excuse me. Porcelli getting around Treno. Fuller getting to the keyhole now. Treno exiting the keyhole. So he actually managed to put a little extra distance between himself and his rival. So now we got to watch Crane and Porcelli. Here's Treno on the inside of Porcelli going into the China Beach area. Pulls that one off uphill.
I think Porcelli here is probably going to try to hold them up, not in a like a bad way, but just defensive, help your teammate out. You're falling back a little bit. Defend your own position as Treno, very, very loose.
Yes, we saw that right here. And that's going to allow Porcelli to get through, and now Porcelli can more actively watch the 6 of his teammate, who is your current leader, Adam Crane.
Yeah, this is playing right into the hands of Crane right now. Porcelli's got pace. Treno really, really, really needs to get by. Porcelli's lap was a 109.5 that lap, so that's going to be a comparable pace, even though that was like Treno's outlap there.
I don't think the pit delta's big enough though for Crane to go into the pits and come out as the leader though.
No, but you have to consider though the time lost. Crane's going to be the only one of the leaders. Porcelli will be on them as well, but one of the top 3 on those alternate tires, on those sticky tires. So if he can extend that one more lap, he can just go full send. Because we've seen these tires last 20 laps getting pushed pretty hard.
We are in the middle of, and there goes Porcelli on the pit road. So Crane is still out there making laps. He's just through turn 1, going into the keyhole area. He will continue to push it at least another lap or 2. He is 21 laps on his current stint. Christian Steele has worked his way. There it is. There he is, up to P4. He is 21 laps into his current stint. He's probably looking to pit here soon. Not too far behind this battle. There's that green car, Rashid Craig. Rashid is 21 laps into his current stint. Porcelli is out. He is back out in 6th spot. He is done pitting, and he is good to go to the end. Julian Kleinbusnik, there in the Vector car, P7. 23 laps into his current stint. Probably see him hit pit road right next lap, probably. Right behind him is Chris Bauman, 21 laps into his current stint. He is probably due here in about 3 laps or so. Kevin Burrell, he just stopped not too long ago, and he is good to go to the end. And Anders Sandberg, same situation. He is good to go to the end in P10. A little bit further on back, Robert Nash, who is now on pit road, was 22 laps. This will be his 23rd lap on his current stint here. This is his final stop.
Crane in the pits, by the way, to interrupt. So this is
fine.
We're gonna see how much time
Crane
is the gap.
Crane down and away. Back, rejoining the circuit now. He is out in front of. That is Sakura, who is a lap down at the moment, but letting the lead lap car give a little room there. So Crane rejoins in 4th spot. Rashid Craig is now the next car up ahead that's going to pit. He is currently in P3.
Yeah, Rashad should be pitting very soon, probably the next lap or two. But Crane came out with about an 18-second gap to the leader. It's a tall order, but with the pace that these tires have shown, the lighter fuel, maybe taking a couple liters less fuel to make it to the end. This is doable. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see a chase down here. We're gonna see almost a time trial here. Like it's almost like cycling. Or pursuit, rather.
Here we go. We are now looking at the watching Rashid Craig here real shortly. Going to be making that turn on the pit road. Going long. It's going to make those alternate tires last as long as possible. Bauman in the pits. Klein-Busnik in the pits.
That brings Kevin Burrell up to 7th now, so good, very solid performance. That strategy played out.
Yeah, and he might gain one more spot depending on how far he is behind Craig. Craig opting for another lap. See Sears hitting pit road right there. Yeah, Craig is hemorrhaging time right now. 109.1 versus Crane's 107.9 behind him. And up ahead, Treno 108.5 and a 108.6 for Fuller. So Craig just giving times away in bushels at the moment.
It's really interesting to see how the tires are playing out, though, because you mentioned that 109. He's on used, like almost fully used softs, alternates. He's doing the same times as Steele and Burrell are doing on darn near new Prima tires. So that pace, it's very interesting to see the alternate tire be the better race tire, especially with how the degradation has been all season so far. But so far, it's looking like it's paying dividends, and that might just play right into Crane's hands. That might play right into anybody else out there that's on their last. Julian, Bauman, Orman, they might be able to make up some time.
Well, here in a little bit, it's going to start slowing Crane down as Crane gets into the aero wash of Craig. I'm sure Crane is wanting Craig to make that turn on the pit road each time by, and he just keeps extending the run. And Crane is right there.
Craig will be coming in this time by as well, too.
All right. So 25 laps on his current stint. He'll stretch it to 26 when he crosses the start-finish line when he hits pit road. That will help out Crane. Crane will not have to pass in terms of an offensive pass.
All right, now this is go time. We're gonna see the pace that Crane actually has in clean air here. He's got plenty of space, it looked like, in front of him. It's about a half a straightaway to the next car, who is Wilhite, I believe, and we've seen Wilhite be very, very respectful to all the front runners. So
take a look here.
This lap will be a tell.
Take a look at Wilhite here. Yep, we'll take a look here, and yeah, you're right. This lap is going to tell. Last time by Crane behind the Craig, a 108.4, which was still faster than Traino and Fuller. Traino 108.8, Fuller 108.7. So we are. You're right. It's going to be see how he can get this deficit to shrink. It's going to shrink. We just don't know how fast. But he does have time. We got 52 of 68 completed here, so a lot can still happen.
Yep. Still have quite a few laps left. It's a lot of time. And again, one little mistake here, it's going to cost you 2, 3, 4 seconds. That is if you don't even hit the wall.
Oh my goodness. That time by Crane, a 107.9.
That's 2 seconds. That's just 2 seconds just cut out right there from the leaders. He's on it. Like, he's absolutely on it right now. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. Looking down the order real quick before we start to focus in on this chase. Porcelli's still holding 4th. Christian Steele, great showing in 5th place so far. They've been really managed that pace so far. Rashad Craig came out in P6. Burrell is behind him by about 7 to 8 seconds as well.
Looks like Wilhite letting the leader, or letting, not the leader, but Crane on through one of the leaders. Currently riding on board.
Sandberg up 2, and Klein was in 9th, also up 2. The real, I don't want to say loser, but kind of having a little bit of disappointing day is Bauman, who has been driving angry since the early parts of the race.
Yeah, that pit stop. Yeah, that pit stop. Just like I said, you practice so much at these, and just one little thing. That's all it takes, and then your day is spent trying to recover.
It's crunch time here.
All right, this time by Crane, 108.7. So not as fast as the leader.
No. That was about equal. They actually that was about 0.2 slower than Traino out front right now. Has he put too much heat in those tires? I wonder. I know he got held up a little bit with a little bit of traffic, but I don't know. It's it's getting to the point where you have to make up more than a second a lap, and you know, he can definitely do it, especially if
he was doing it a while ago, even behind traffic, behind Craig. I think he was 2 seconds faster at one particular lap, but I think maybe the diminishing returns have hit the alternate tires already.
And we'll see as...
Ooh, we got a car in trouble into the carousel area. Crane's working his way by. No,
that's not what he wanted to say. He had a lift.
And 108.6, so 2 consecutive laps at the 108.6 mark.
He probably lost 3-4 tenths just from that. Plus the dirty air. It's just traffic has not went his way. Him or Porcelli's way so far tonight.
Yeah, 27 car field, very packed course here. We are watching Ben Fuller here in P2, who was about 4 seconds behind Trano. No one is around him. He's clear by about 13 seconds over Crane at the moment. There's Crane. We've been watching him for a lot of this current stint, seeing if he can cut into the leaders. His teammate coming through the S's in the Thunder Valley right there is David Porcelli. He is from P4. Christian Steele currently in P5, the I5G entry, bookmarking his associated teammates there with Trano and Fuller. The lead IAR car at the moment, Rashid Craig, P6. And the aforementioned Kevin Burrell has worked his way up to 7th, up 2 spots since the start. Anders Sandberg, same situation, up 2 spots. He is in P8. Klein Busnick, up 2 spots, also 9th. And Bauman, as we mentioned, just not struggling, just made one little mistake, and it's cost him right now down 3 spots, but still hanging on to a top 10. And right behind him, don't look now, but that is your leader. So we went around the horn for the top 10, and literally the top 10 is around the horn. From the start of the top 10 to the bottom of the top 10 is every spot on the racetrack at the moment.
Just the pace to be able to lap into the top 10, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
And there's still 10 laps to go. I mean, there's still 10 laps to go. There's still more people to be lapped. That's what I'm saying, more time to lap people. Like I said, lots can still happen.
Yep, especially overtaking. You know, if we have very respectful people up towards the front of the field, of course. But a little mistake. One little mistake, just accidentally lock up as somebody's, as one of the leaders is trying to overtake. Caused quite a mess.
Here are your intervals between cars. Fuller 3.5 to Trano. Crane 12.6, now 12.5 to Fuller. Porcelli just kind of watching the 6th of his team right now, 5 seconds to Crane. Steele 14 to Porcelli. So it looks like the top 5 pretty well spread out. The closest battle on the racetrack at the moment, got a couple of them. We'll go back here for a battle for 16th. Here's Josh Brain and Radic Sikoria. This is a battle for 16th. They're both 1 lap down. And the next closest battle on the racetrack, that's really about it. It's right here, P11, P12, Crozier and Orman. It's about a second and a half separating those two at the moment. But field's pretty well strung out. We'll give you the track map, show you kind of what we're looking at from high above. And you see nobody really, none of those dots are really in close proximity to one another.
lap before, Fuller did gain a little bit of time onto Treno, but they have now evened out yet again. Fuller is running out of time. He might just be even content with, standing pat second place, bring home an Apex 1-2. But, they have pace. They've had pace all race long. Right from the get-go, as soon as they went 1-2, they just started to pull away, and they've been a masterclass of this field. It's one of the best performances I think I've seen so far in the IIS season this year.
Only one pass for the lead. That was done on pit road. You saw it right here. Treno got the drop on Fuller on exit out on their first stops, and that has been the margin ever since. With now 8 laps to go. So again, a couple weeks off before we move to Montreal, while the real NTT IndyCar Series moves to Toronto. So remember every NTT IndyCar Series weekend that you see the real guys race on, whether it be on Peacock or NBC. I think they only had that one race on USA, so I think everything's going to be on Peacock and NBC. But anytime you see the real guys race that weekend, make sure to hit us the Friday before, and we will have the top split of the iRacing IndyCar drivers doing the IndyCar iRacing Series right here on NTT IndyCar weekends. Pretty soon, so when these we got a couple of seasons getting ready to spin up here soon. We'll be broadcasting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Fridays of the week, every day of the week here pretty soon here on Race First. We got a couple new leagues getting ready to start up. Of course, here in a couple weeks, the Race First Formula Indy Series will kick off their 4th season here on Race First. Continuing coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split. Of course, Wednesday night is the Revolution Indy League's Schaefer's IndyCar Series and their summer series. And the IIS on Fridays, and we'll be picking up a Brazilian Stock Car League on Thursday, something a little bit different.
Well, those are exciting. I haven't driven one myself in iRacing yet, but just knowing the series in the real world, those cars are. It's amazing to see what a Chevy Cruze can do. Having been a former owner of one, and those things are souped up, like incredible. Kind of almost reminds me of like Super Touring.
Now I've been told TK is part of the series, Tony Kanaan. I don't know if that's a fact or not. I don't know if we'll see him as part of one of the lineups or not, but it's possible that TK might be part of the series. So check it out here, Race First, Thursday night starting July 14th. We don't venture out of the realm of IndyCar too often. That's kind of what we do. We do best.
You would say we know what Indy means.
We know what Indy means, yeah.
See, we have a couple gaps starting to close up. Rashad Craig is gaining on Christian Steele a little bit. Burrell is actually gaining on the both of them though, even quicker. It's going to be really interesting to see if they can chuck down enough time. Again, one mistake can change the complexity of this race. So if you're in the driver's seat, hit your marks. If you have a spotter or your teammates with you, just keep each other calm, because the last thing you'd want to do is just throw away a great result in the last couple laps right at the death here.
Speaking of death, who is killing the cones on the long straight there? Every lap go by and there's cones are in disarray. It'll be funny if the I5G guys are doing that.
if, now, I could be wrong, but if you go a little too far inside, I'm pretty sure you get a slowdown.
Okay.
I'm almost certain you get a slowdown if you put too much of your car over that. That might have changed, or it might have been me misremembering, because it's been a long time since I ran a full stint. But right there at the kink. Ugh.
Yep, we're getting ready to watch. Here's Rashid Craig going right through that portion of the track.
Massively avoiding the cones there.
Everyone through that picture at least missed him.
A couple good laps still. A lot of the drivers in the 108 still. Christian Steele dropping his personal best of the race actually here towards the end at the 108.4. So we got a lot of pace in these cars still.
Okay, battle forming right here for P8th. Sandberg and Klein Busnick. Battle is getting close. I got a lap car in between the two right now at the moment. It's kind of holding up Klein Busnick. I got 2 lap cars there, but maybe I misidentified a car there. Let's see, Sandberg. Too many cars that look alike. I think Sandberg's fine. He's got 7 seconds to Burrell and 3 seconds to 3.5 to Klein Busnick. So just a rogue. Oh, it's Reddick. Reddick has a green-looking car. They're very similar. Reddick and there's Reddick's right there. And if I put the camera on Klein Busnick, someone kills one of the cones there. Very similar-looking cars, not identical but similar. Back up to the front. And not too far behind kind of this battle we were just looking at a minute ago. They were mistaken for a closer battle on the racetrack. It's Trano. He's got 2 cars that are kind of battling it out. This is for position between Josh Brain and Radek Sakura for 16th and 17th. And then here comes your leader wanting to get by. Boy, it's a tough situation. I mean, yeah, if you let go, then you lose contact with the guy you're battling for position.
Yeah, it's especially when you are in a battle, and you know, a lot of these drivers here, especially in the mid pack, you know, they're not thinking about like necessarily the good result. You know, they might want to have their iRating improved. They might be shooting for personal bests. They might try to stay under a lap time for the rest of the stint. You know, when you're down towards the end of a race, you want to make your own personal goals.
Yep.
And that's one of the best things about sim racing in general, is you can kind of just change on the fly with the progression of the race. But like Trano right now is just trying to maintain a gap, as got, you know, almost coming to the white flag this time around. You know, gap management, he's let the gap drop a little bit, but he's trying to stay safe around traffic. So if you're starting out, especially in an open wheel car with this much power, one suggestion: go for clean laps first and foremost. Try to do a race 0x and then kind of build your way up from there. But
yeah, if you actually get the virtual racing school and you get their little plug-in app that sends data, it'll tell you if you did clean or dirty laps. So if you're unsure, you can always use that as a barometer. But yeah, keeping all 4 wheels on the pavement is probably a good sign. Final lap.
Yeah, Trano keeping that 2 to 3 second gap still around the last couple laps here.
Looking to put a lap on Sandberg. Sandberg's like, man, this is a white flag lap. Let me just stay on it. Trano probably doesn't care right now. There he goes. Sandberg's going to let him on by. Sandberg made it almost to the end on the lead lap there, but Trano too quick. We've now lapped up to P7.
Trano's probably looking at his dash right now and thinking, wow, I haven't gained this much iRating in such a long time in a race. Fuller has by far the most iRating here in the server at about 8.5K. So yeah, he's very, very talented, and a heck of a dominating performance by the both of them.
Well, through the carousel, It just took one pass on one pit stop. And your winner, Brandon Traino, takes home the win at Mid-Ohio.
Ben Fuller coming in P2. Wonderful performance on a quasi spot start here. Haven't seen him around too much on the broadcast.
Crane brings home the last step there. So good for him in the championship. And we'll be talking more about the championship here in the coming weeks as everything kind of firms up here post Indianapolis.
Yeah, this is going to go a long way with Porcelli coming in fourth. Steele with a phenomenal performance yet again. Yeah. Top 5 there. As heck of a race, as entertaining as always. The strategies played out. This time around, it looked like Crane played that late start, didn't quite play out the way he wanted to, but still a great podium finish for him. But Traino and Fuller, they had the strat. They figured something out with those soft tires, especially in those hotter conditions. They still lasted, and they just pulled away just because of that.
Once again, just a reminder, a programming note on this coming Monday's coverage of the 4D Racewear Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split. Due to the July 4th holiday, Race First will not be broadcasting this week's race at Chicagoland. We will resume our regular coverage of the 4D Racewear Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split when the series moves to Iowa on July 12th. And it is donut time. There we go. Donuts and off to celebrate. We will see if anybody has a chance to pop into the booth here for an interview. But real quick, let's review tonight's finals results from Mid-Ohio. As you see, Brandon Traino with the win. Just had a faster pit stop there on that first stint. Into the first stint, beat out Ben Fuller. That is your margin of victory. Well, not your margin of victory, but your only pass. Your margin of victory, a little bit bigger than that. Adam Crane, good run continues for the championship, is third on the third step there. Porcelli, Steele, Craig, Burrell, Sandberg, Klein-Busnick, and Bauman survive all into the top 10. Orman, Crozier, White, Nash, Sears, your top 15. Sequoia, Brain, Hausler, Bott, Masuda, your top 20. We didn't hear much from Rob, but he's for 21st. Kraus, 22nd. Fritz, Brindle, Zadie, 25th. Coyle, 26th. And Principal Dan relegated to 27th. Not sure what happened to him. Hopefully he can make another run here in one of the other IIS races and recover some of that lost IR. All right, let's see who's in the interview room for anybody that would like to come in and talk with us. Nobody right now. So while we're waiting, Nick, your thoughts on Mid-Ohio here. We didn't quite see what we were kind of thinking that this would turn into like the road races where it's been the last couple of races, where Crane waits to get on the light fuel red tires and then kind of runs down the leaders, and it just didn't really happen this time. But is it more a result of just kind of falling too far behind Traino and Fuller because they set such a torrid pace early, or did a lot of the traffic that we saw here play a role in possibly making Crane's job a little bit tougher?
It was a mix of both. It looked like, just taking a step back in hindsight, if I was in Adam Crane's spot, I think I mentioned this before, I would have thought the tires would have fallen off with how hot the track was, because you're constantly turning at this track. Like, you're always putting heat in those tires. Was it a bad call to start on those primaries? No, I probably would have done the same, but they figured out that Apex crew figured something out with those soft tires in their setup, and They made them last. They just made them last. They didn't really push each other too hard, at least until after the first pit stop. But even then, the track started cooling down a little bit. Probably gave them a little bit more life in those tires, and yeah, at that point, I think Adam had to push so much that either overheated the tires, and we should be able to ask him. I think he's in the interview room in a minute, but I think with the ultimate like dagger was, it wasn't any fault of his own, but it was just catching traffic. You catch traffic in Thunder Valley, you're gonna lose almost a second a lap, and unfortunately that happened a few times with him, and it didn't really happen with the top two.
All right, well, Adam is in the interview room. We'll bring him on in here. Hey, Adam, you got Gary and Nick here. Congrats on the third step of the podium. Looked like traffic played a big role today. Your thoughts and trying to run down Trano and Fuller there at the end.
Yeah, that was a tough race. I knew Brandon was going to be fast, and obviously Ben's a maniac, so obviously he's going to be there or thereabouts. So yeah, I mean, the race was a little interesting. I thought that I had a pole lap for sure in me based on what Ben had posted, so a little disappointed that I couldn't come up with pole, which sort of would have baked my strategy a little bit more. I probably would have started on the alternates if I was on pole, but knowing that Brandon was quick and Ben was quick, I sort of hummed and hawed and was looking at the track conditions and the track temp and thought to myself, you know what, I'll try on the primaries. And so threw the primaries on, and then ended up losing about 16 or 17 seconds in the first stint alone. Had a battle there with Steele, which was fun. And then yeah, I mean, for the rest of the race, it was just sort of like everyone holding their own position, and I wasn't really gaining on Steele or Ben at all, Trano and Ben, and ended up more or less finishing about what the gap was after the first stint. So a little bit disappointing. I gotta do some more work to figure out exactly how I can get the primary pace a little bit better, because it seems like I'm losing about, I don't know, maybe 3/4, maybe half a second a lap off of what the i5G/Apex guys are able to do. So gotta go back to the drawing board. But as far as traffic goes, I mean, yeah, there was some overtakes that I probably would have made in the spots that I would have made. But for the most part, everyone was pretty cordial. I'm not sure what happened sort of on the first few laps and how much chaos there was, but I'll have to go back and check the replay. Overall, solid P3. Wish the soft was a little bit higher, but I'll take another 200 points at bank for the championship.
You got it, yeah. Take your victories, I guess, as you can. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, no, that's you're starting to build a pretty stout lead there in the championship going forward, and I know we'll be talking about that more and more coming up. But just thinking about the race real quick, one other thing I wanted to touch upon, and I kind of referenced it a little bit, but did it surprise you how durable the alternates were, how durable the softs were? Because it actually shocked me how much pace, like there wasn't a sudden drop off. Did that surprise you at all?
I mean, it didn't surprise me in this race, just because, I mean, throughout the this week and the last week when I was doing testing for the open race and this race, the tires didn't fall off that much. It was a little surprising last week when I found out. For whatever reason, it's got to be something with the track surface interacting with the soft tire that the alternate tire just doesn't mind. These races are a little weird because you don't really get an advantage from running the primary tire at all. Like, the primary tire, pretty much the entire time that you're running it, is just slower than the alternates. Notwithstanding what Trano and the Apex guys are able to do. So yeah, I mean, strategically it sort of boxes you in a little bit because you end up just wanting to run alternates the whole time. Would be interesting if these races had cautions, just because everyone who waits to the last impossible moment to put on the primaries and then run them for the shortest amount of time. Would get a little screwed if there was a yellow bunching the pack up, but I understand why there's not, and I appreciate why there's not yellow, so that'll have to be just some kind of league functionality that we try to run later.
Yeah, we were just talking actually right at the beginning of the race about they've been trying to retool full course yellows for road racing, and it's not quite there yet. But no, that would be something interesting. But either way, a great run as always. Always glad to have you on the podium as well. Feel free to shout out your sponsors, your folks, any loved ones. Go ahead.
Yeah, big thanks to everyone at Satellite Racing. Teammate David Porcelli had a nice P4 there as well. So
good day for you guys, yeah.
P3 and P4. Like I said, good day for the championship. It's a little bit of a shame that Will isn't running, but he'll have to run a race without me for the rest of the weekend because I'm headed to Canadian Tour Motorsports Park for the IMSA weekend. So
all right.
Big thanks to my fiance Jess for letting me run the race,
of course.
Had them they watch.
Yes, we got to have those ladies at home tolerate this stuff. And
where would we be without them?
Yeah, where would we be without them? Exactly. Well, congratulations on the P3. Great day for you. Great day for the team all around. Too bad we don't have a team championship. Maybe that's something we can look into in the future. I don't know. But good day for everybody all the way around. And enjoy your week off or so. And we will see you Montreal.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right. And we'll bring up Brandon. Here we got Brandon in the booth here with Gary and Nick. So it's Brandon Insano Trano. That's kind of what I'm reading here. What Ben is saying in chat. So the margin of victory, of course, was a pretty decent one. But the big move, of course, was that pit stop. What was the difference for you on pit road? How'd you get it out quicker than him?
Yeah, first off, great race to Ben. Always fun battling a teammate like that. He pushed me all the way to the end, and it was a good race overall. But yeah, pit stop was just me saving a little bit of fuel the first stint behind him, trying to save tires, and he pitted a little bit earlier than I thought he would, so I decided to just go with him and try to jump him, which we did, and they got me the clean air that I needed. So
good.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon, that was awesome to see. It's always good to have you around. Of course, I saw the SOF pop up and I was like, oh, that's a little higher than usual. And then I saw you and Ben here. I was like, all right, this is going to be interesting. So, were you pretty happy with how those soft tires performed? Those alternate tires performed. It kind of shocked us up here in the booth with a lack of DAG, but was that kind of shocking for you to find out, at least in testing?
No, there's not a lot of high-speed corners around Mid-Ohio, so they don't have a lot of heat buildup in them. They just have a lot of wear, so it becomes really tricky to manage the road tires off of all the elevation changes and slow-speed corners, trying to put the power down. But yeah, if you can kind of just play it smart and you have a little bit of breathing room, you can save them a little bit and then have the ability to go a little bit long and then ultimately take less fuel and get a shorter stint on the primaries.
So you were kind of just saving fuel, making your car a little lighter for the end there, and then kind of preserving everything. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, first win of the IIS season for you. Next up, after a week rest, is Montreal. Will we see you at Montreal, or is this kind of a one-off for you?
I might make it. I don't know. It depends on my schedule.
Sure.
I'd like to be there. I like doing the IIS races. The longer races are always fun with strategy and the mental game. So hopefully I'm around. But yeah, we'll just have to see.
All right. Any shout outs anyone would like to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, all the guys at I5G and Apex Racing Team, as always. They're huge supporters and really helpful with what we've developed on the road course program that we have. So yeah, just shout out to those guys.
All right, well, there you have it. Brandon Trano, your winner today. Congratulations, and hopefully we see you in 2 weeks.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
And we do have Ben Fuller here, so we'll bring him on up. Hey, Ben, got you here in the booth with Gary and Nick. Got a professional here. We got a P2 on the day. Looks like the difference was just a slightly longer pit stop, but still kept your target well in front of you. Didn't really let him get away. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, so I mean, coming into the week, I didn't really expect to be doing this, to be honest. I was preparing for IMSA or potentially the Apex Prototype League, but it was just wasn't really feeling it. The most part was kind of So,
Yeah.
yesterday I jumped on Mid Ohio with this car, and man, it was so much fun already. So I was like, okay, I'll put a couple hours of practice in and go for it today. So, I think the pole was pretty good. These guys had some great pace today. Yeah, I think the difference was Trino was just a beast today. He had the pace, he had the consistency, he didn't make any mistakes. He saved more fuel. I wasn't really saving any fuel the first 2 stints at all, so he was gaining there. I'm guessing he probably was full fuel for the first stint. That's why he jumped so much in the pit stop, because I was planning to run like a 20-20, 28 or whatever for the stints, but I think he probably just followed me through there and jumped me. But yeah, I don't think it really would have mattered that much what happened, because he was just so quick and was better on tires. Got through the traffic a little better. Had a couple hiccups with some guys not really being too respectful, let's say, but that's how it goes. So
Yeah, he had 27 cars on a fairly small, narrow, and fast road circuit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys were always in traffic quite a bit, weren't you?
Yeah, and I was so surprised it didn't split twice. I don't know what it splits at, maybe 28 or so, but I was expecting to have 3 splits there, and if it was, it's probably going to be a 4 or 5K solve.
So I thought it was 26 that they did splits, but I think that might be for Indy Fixed and Indy Open. But I thought there were only 24 pit stalls at Mid Ohio, so I don't know. But yeah, there was a lot of traffic, so I'm sure that made your day already a challenge, even more challenging. But you nailed it, and I don't know if we can get the nickname to stick, but we'll try. An Insano Trino, because he was a monster and everything. It almost kind of looked like it might have surprised you that he got out ahead of you in the pit stops, because it looks like you were really trying to run him down, and it just there was nothing going there. When did kind of you settle in and say, hey man, I guess P1's out of the question today, we're just going to take P2 and get some iRating and walk out of here with a podium finish?
Yeah, no, you nailed it on the head there. I mean, I did not expect him to jump me in the stop. When he followed me in, at that point, I expected him to be on my strategy as well, because I had asked him about it, questions about strategy and bars and stuff, trying to get prepared for the race. And I expected that, okay, he was probably on my strategy because he was on my pace, a little bit quicker maybe. But he followed me in. But I think what happened, he was just so quick, and he had the extra fuel from the full tank to start. So when he jumped me, I was quite surprised. And at that point, I knew it was pretty much over, because he jumped me then, and he's going to jump me again because of the fuel, and the pace was still there as well. So yeah, it was pretty much over at that point.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, 28 cars that would have split for sure. Actually, Adam confirmed that in the chat. So unfortunate, I would have loved to see a 4.5, 5K, but we'll get there. Yeah. Ben, I've seen you drive a lot. I don't know if you recall last year, you and I kind of ran a little bit in the old Logitech G Challenge with the crazy IR01.
That was an interesting combo for sure.
For sure, yes. But yeah, I've seen you do multiple disciplines. I've ran in the other lobbies. Are we going to see you more here in the IndyCar? Maybe join up with Brandon every now and then for Apex.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I really enjoy this car. A lot of our Apex guys have started running this car for different, VCO or other events, and we really start to enjoy this car a lot. I enjoy this car, and it's fun to jump in it. It's not my main car or my preferred car to be in all the time, let's say. I'd rather be doing prototypes, or eventually when the World Championship comes back around, I'll be in that. But when there's off weeks and I still want to race, this is a great series for sure. So it just depends on the combo or what's going on, but yeah, I enjoy my races over here for sure.
But your club Indiana, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, this is your home state car, man.
100%. It is.
Should definitely do some more racing there. Where you at in Indiana?
Greenwood.
Oh, okay, Greenwood. So I'm up north, you're down south. All right, okay. All right, that's cool. I'm up north, you're down south. All right. Well, shout outs before we let you go. Anybody want to say hi, thanks to sponsors, that sort of thing?
Oh, of course, big shout outs to Trino. I mean, what a race from him. Shout out to Apex Racing Academy, where you can find Treno sets. He's giving the big docs. Shout outs to VRS, the Direct Force Pro and the pedals as well. I mean, they're both incredible pieces of kit. So big shouts out to those people for sure.
All right, well, there you have it. Maybe we'll see you in 2 weeks in Montreal. Maybe not, but we still thank you for showing up today, making part of the show, making it very interesting. And maybe we'll see you at another race if it's not Montreal down the road. So congratulations, and thanks for showing up.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
There we go. Man, just hate these guys that just show up every now and then and just all of a sudden throw the car in and all of a sudden they're on top of the sheets. I don't have that level of talent.
It's the listen. I have a little bit bias, obviously, but it's one of the best cars to drive.
It is.
This service.
It is,
especially on road. My first love has been prototypes. My first love is sports cars. I love this car more than anything. Like, honest to God, on the road. Obviously ovals, it's kind of an oval machine as well, but yeah, hit the nail on the head though. This is gaining in popularity. Everybody drives it. It might not even be your main car, but pop on for a race. It's good content. Literally, you can drive it anywhere. So if you're new to IndyCar, if you checked us out, pick this up. If you got the iRacing service, definitely pick up the IR18 and run a few laps.
Yeah.
Ask tips. We're a pretty helpful community overall. So, but yeah, it's always exciting. As an IndyCar main, that's a little frustrating to see people jump in, but Treno, Fuller, Crane, Porcelli, Steele, they can run the wheels off of anything. That whole top five. So, it's always exciting to see a field that strong. That top five is an average strength of field of over almost 6.5K. So. For those of you who don't know iRating, that's top 0.1% or less of drivers for road racing. So yeah, it's hell of a race. I again, it was a little bit more spread out, but still very entertaining. Standards were fantastic, and that's it. I'm looking forward to Montreal. Honestly, I can't wait to see what these cars can do here.
Yeah, there's a lot of I believe there's a lot of similarities between these cars and especially LMP2, and that's kind of where I've gone and recruited some other drivers out of the LMP2 ranks, and said instead of sitting left of the center, you're sitting more in the center. You were sitting exactly in the center of the car. You're still enclosed, and a lot of the same tools you have available to you in the LMP and LMP 1 and 2 cars are available to you here in IndyCar, with the exception of traction control. I think that's about it. But still, there's a lot of crossover in the way the car handles between the LMP 1 and 2 cars, especially the LMP 2 cars in IndyCar. So check it out. Nick is definitely right. So Brandon Treno, as mentioned, he gives you those sets on Apex Racing, but not the really good ones. He keeps them for themselves, where he finishes first in the IndyCar iRacing Series here at Mid-Ohio. I think that's about it. We're going to let everyone have the rest of their afternoons back to start their holiday weekend. We will be back here in about 2 weeks, so just stand by and we'll get you on out of here. So that's it today. Once again, your podium from Mid-Ohio is Brandon Treno, Ben Fuller, and Adam Crane. Join racers again in 2 weeks for round 10 of the IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from Montreal. Where we will be, I guess it's going to be standing in for Toronto. So coverage should begin about approximately 2 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. Again, that's 2 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. And as always, check the official iRacing schedule or our channel for the correct time in your area. So hey, we love bringing these races to you, and they're not easy and require time and money to produce. If you share our passion for the love of sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our IndyCar iRacing Series broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us a part of your Fridays during IndyCar race weeks. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind and leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video, just like this. And if you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out more on iRacing's Race vs. iRacing programming, including Monday's coverage of the Indy Fix Top Split, Wednesday's coverage of the Revolution Indy League, and coming soon, the Race First Formula Indy Series on Tuesdays. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. All of our IDs are at the bottom, all of our profiles there. Feel free to add us. So for Nick Sudik and everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gazzo saying to all, thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the IndyCar race this weekend for real at Mid-Ohio, and have a safe and restful holiday weekend. Catch us again in 2 weeks at Montreal for the next race of the iRacing IndyCar Series. Good night.